All right, so on this day, October 25th, 2013, a good 6 years ago, Arkham Origins came out. So we're going to say a little happy birthday to Batman Arkham Origins. We're not going to sing. Please hold your applause. Now, what is seen as a lot of people's least favorite in the series and some people's actual favorite in the series, it's really the black sheep of the Arkham family. There's a lot of things that it did right. So today I have my friend Nate here. We were hanging out and we thought, why shouldn't we, on today's special day, talk about 5 things Batman Arkham Origins did very well. So, Nate, I'm glad you're here.
Glad to be here to talk about such a great game.
That sounds very facetious, but you like this game.
No, it was very fun.
Yeah, we're both big fans of Origins. Some people aren't, but let's get right into the 5 things it did well. The first thing we have is the Batcave. This game definitely does the Batcave the best out of the series. It's not just pushed into a challenge map. It actually shows up in the main game, and it could have played more of a role in the game. I think they could still do more with it, but there's a lot of things we both really like about it.
Yeah, I thought it was better than the Asylum one, for sure. Well, that wasn't even the real Batcave, but...
No, that one underneath Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, I like how you can actually, do stuff in there, change your costume, you can do challenge maps, stuff like that. You can actually do stuff in the Batcave.
Yeah, and there's even a couple of parts of accessing the Bat computer. I also like just being able to move around in it and talking to Alfred.
Yeah.
Actually going in and engaging with Alfred after key points in the story or side missions and getting sort of his take and his input and that affecting your XP gain was really cool. One thing I would add to this, though, is I definitely think more could be done with the Batcave in the future. I think they could add in something like tying crime scene investigations into the Batcave if it ever comes back.
Oh, so you have to go back to the Batcave to research
Maybe
it
at
and stuff,
certain
or...
points.
Okay.
I don't think it would be fun if you had to do it all the time. It's
Yeah.
I just found a clue. Time to go back to the Batcave for the 30th time. That wouldn't be fun. But
Welcome back, Batman.
Maybe if there's some points where you could go back, or if you had the option, you could stay and investigate something somewhere, or you had the option to go back to the Batcave and use it for data analysis, anything like that.
Yeah.
Would be really cool. Another comment I saw that mentioned this was maybe if they added in a suit crafting option that could be done at a Batcave, whether that's just cosmetic or kind of like in Spider-Man where you're, mixing and matching abilities with suits.
Yeah.
That would definitely be an interesting way to take it. Now, the second thing is actually your idea that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I thought our second thing on the list was actually the villains that are in the game. I thought it was really done well how it was a team of assassin villains that were all hunting down Batman, but they were all working together. And I also like how it was a team of villains that a lot of them aren't really well-known villains, like Copperhead, Electrocutioner,
Shiva.
Even.
Yeah, they're not known outside of heavy Batman fans.
Yeah.
Right? Or I guess a couple of them are in the Justice League.
Yeah.
But they're not someone like Joker that's a household name.
Right. In fact, Copperhead's the only one I actually knew about before playing this game.
Oh, out of the lesser known ones?
Yeah. I mean, obviously Bane, obviously
and
Joker, but yeah, I just like how it was I like how they pulled villains that weren't well known. They used other villains in the Batman universe other than just the main ones.
Yeah, and that's definitely something the Arkham series has struggled a little bit with at times. That's why we put up the 5 villains that maybe could work their way into the next Arkham game. And I think that with a lot of these too, people did really enjoy them, bringing out renditions of even Deathstroke and Firefly. A lot of people didn't really know who Firefly was who didn't watch some of the cartoons. So those were good inclusions that I think really helped the series. And I'm hoping we see more like that in whatever the next Arkham game is.
Yeah, hopefully more lesser known villains.
Yeah. Now, the third thing that we wanted to talk about was actually Batman's character. Now, this breaks down to a few things. Who he is, but also where he's at in his career, because he's much younger in this game. Here's the thing. Certain things have been retconned and changed over time. It's generally accepted because of things they say in game that this is 10, maybe a little over 10 years before Arkham Knight. But it depends, because there's also timeline things that don't match up super well with that interpretation. Some people think it was sort of retconned by Knight. So I'm leaving that a little bit up to you, but regardless, This is a way younger, more brutal Batman. He's a lot more militarized. Like, he's really showing brute force in this. And you kind of pointed out that a lot of that is because people don't know that he exists.
Yeah, so it's almost as if they need to, or Batman needs to show the villains of the world who he is. And part of that is maybe going like a little overkill on them at times. But he's really trying to like strike the fear into the crime world.
Yeah, you even have like the police like not acknowledging Batman's existence even in this game. Starting with Gordon at the beginning. You have like newspaper articles referencing him, but like really there haven't been many direct sightings of the Batman. So he's essentially what you'd call an urban myth at this point, which is very different from his portrayal, even in Asylum, where it's like nobody wants to meet the Batman at that point,
Yeah.
but everybody knows there is a Batman that exists. It's like, oh, little Timmy over there who robbed the jewelry store got his arm broken in 12 places and he's missing 5 teeth. Well, an urban myth didn't do that.
Yeah.
The Batman is real. But in this, a lot of people are just like, oh, that's made up stories to scare people.
Right.
So that was a really cool angle to go with this game. Another idea was actually the multiplayer. Now, I feel like this is going to be the most divisive thing on this list. So if you're like immediately clicking out and leaving a dislike, I would urge you to just listen to what we have to say about it first. The point of saying the multiplayer was a good thing is not to say it was done extremely well. It was not. More that the concept of it is really cool and well thought out.
It was kind of like the multiplayer from the Assassin's Creed franchise, like in 3 and Black Flag. It was done, I thought it was in the game, it was really cool, but it just needed work.
Yeah.
It was a cool concept.
It almost seems like something that could be better served by having a small team develop it as a side game or project in the Arkham universe. Like, I know always online multiplayer only games, sometimes you're like, whoa, no. But a lot of them are actually extremely popular. You have things like Overwatch that are pretty much all that have been developed so well that everybody loves it. This is an idea that I think with 2 different squads of enemies going against each other, Joker and Bane's gang, and we're going to show some footage, but we could not get in any multiplayer matches, so we really just have the tutorial footage they show. But those 2 would go up against each other with Batman and Robin kind of swinging around or like sneaking around in the background trying to take them out. And there's 2 different modes. There's Invisible Predator and there's Hunter Hunted. That's the one we played the most when we were younger.
Yeah, I don't really know much about the other one, but the Hunter Hunted was really fun.
Yeah, and it has certain things in it kind of like a Battle Royale or Search and Destroy where it's like 1 life and you're out for pretty much everybody. But I don't know, there was just a lot of cool stuff with this, and being able to customize your gang member.
That was probably the coolest part.
Yeah, and pretty much being able to use any skin from Arkham City or Arkham Origins for Batman and Robin. Oh yeah, and being able to play as the Dick Grayson Robin, because that's who you were in this game, was the Dick Grayson Robin for at least the normal default skin.
Yeah.
That was cool to see, even though we don't get to see a story around him. I just think that this really could have been fleshed out. It seems like it was an afterthought that no one cared about.
Like they kind of made the game, then quick threw it in.
Yeah, like somebody at WB was like, look, this needs multiplayer. And some guy was like, fine, whatever. And like got like a team of 3 people to like kind of work on it.
Yeah.
It seems like something that if you had a good 10, 15 people working on for a year, it could be something bigger. But I also think that the problem with that is nobody wants that to take away from single player.
Yeah.
So I think it would kind of need to be a side thing that's reworked in the future so it didn't pull away from the campaign of the game. So the final thing we had was actually probably one of the best things this game introduced that was way better than Arkham Asylum or City was able to do it, and that was crime scene investigating. And I don't really think there's any debating that crime scene investigations in Asylum and City are not that great. Like, it just goes around to put a circle over something and hold A.
That's it.
That's all it was. And you can say that about this too to an extent, but you also were able to recreate crime scenes.
And like fast forward and rewind them too.
Yeah, and that really helped you be able to see, you know, like what happened here. It wasn't just you show up, you scan a Deadshot victim, and you're like, he's dead. Deadshot's not here. Where's Deadshot? I'm gonna leave now. It wasn't just that. It would be like you would scan it, recreate it, fast forward, and rewind through it, and see actually what happened at the crime scene. There were some good reveals through this too. Like, I know the Joker reveal partially came through a crime scene recreation. So it really tied into that part of Batman becoming a detective and being a detective. And in some ways you could say in the later games he wouldn't have to fully recreate crime scenes if he was well versed enough.
Yeah.
But this made you feel like you were investigating something, not walking up and just holding A.
Yeah, like you actually had to fast forward and rewind, like figure out what happened to like the card. I know that happened very early in the game.
Yeah.
But, like, actually try to like figure out where that happened in the thing.
Well, and this was clearly an idea that people liked enough over at Rocksteady that it got absorbed into Arkham Knight. Like, you even see that in the scene where Barbara's trying to escape the Arkham Knight's vehicle and crawling away and throws a clue off to the right, and you need to like scan multiple things, fast forward, rewind, see where she threw this clue and hit it. Then you have to go over and decipher that. But it seems much more heavily featured in this game. For some reason, it's an afterthought in Night, which I thought was too bad for probably the best mechanic this game introduced. And it did introduce some weird ones too, like fast travel that weren't needed. So for something like this, it's odd that it would just sort of disappear. So overall, I think we really both enjoy Arkham Origins. I was going to say Arkham Knight for a second.
I enjoy that one too.
Well, we like all of them. But I think that this game, it gets a bit of a bad rap for a few reasons. And I definitely do want to make a video at some point about 5 reasons or multiple reasons why people might dislike Arkham Origins, because I think there's a lot of valid reasons to dislike it. But I think there's just as many, if not more, reasons to actually, plug this game back in and enjoy it on its birthday. We played a couple hours of it today. It was a lot of fun. And I'm actually going to be replaying through the game now because, I'm really excited because it's fun. It's a fun Batman game.
It's really fun.
And it's amazing that even for a lot of people, what a lot of people consider their least favorite Batman Arkham game is still better than a majority of the superhero games that have hit the market really ever. So I think that says a lot about this series. So happy birthday, Arkham Origins. We appreciate you. We look forward to seeing your multiplayer milked to the high heavens with microtransactions and loot boxes. And guys, let us know what you think in the comments down below. Did you enjoy Arkham Origins? What is your favorite Arkham game and why? And what did you like or dislike about Arkham Origins? We would love to hear it. And we'll be seeing you in the next one. Have a great and awesome day. You're awesome.